Christensen.
And my name is Barbara Speranza. No.
AJ Rose.
Okay, representing.
Citizens.
All right, according to our agenda, I have to read our code of conduct. I'll do that quickly. Community Board 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or ban participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive posters or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. The board's executive committee and or other assigned committees will review repeated offenses and or behavior and ban the offender for an amount of time determined by the committee. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities will be summoned. Okay. Right now, we can't vote on past minutes, but while I have you here, I'm going to ask for some input on requests for the budget, okay? I believe on the other side, on that side, what I have so far for new requests are a station for the PEP squad in the West Bronx. Right now, they're located over by Pelham Bay Park, and when we have to call them, it takes them a while. And I know Riverdale Sport 8 is very interested in getting them over on the West End, and if they get over here, also we can share it for 8 and 7 community boards. So we will put that in the expense budget for the upcoming year. And we also had a request for tree planting and stump removal. Now, last year's expense budget requests were the additional PEP offices, but we didn't mention a station in the West Bronx, so we'll adjust that. We had asked for a full-time gardener for DeVoe, St. James, and Marshall Parkway. Again, we received answers to the effect of the agency will support that request, all right? But knowing what the budget is like in parks, it's less than 1%, and the mayor's cutting, we hope, maybe down the line, you never know. And then we asked for a playground associate for DeVoe.
Okay.
All right, and I believe I was at a summer meeting with over the budget, and something came up with the possibility of getting one, and when would we want them? And we said from April to November 1st. So hopefully somebody will look at that and pick it up. And then we asked that new trees to be planted and old stumps to be removed. And they said that Parks plans to plant additional trees, provided it's not in front of a new development, because if it is, then the developer is responsible for that. They did say, however, that they didn't have the money for tree guards. So, in the past, they put in the tree, but the tree guard was somebody else's responsibility. Joe, do you know anything that they're requiring them or anything?
No, I could ask Tyler, but that's really not my.
Not your.
I
Okay.
believe you have to apply for a permit to do a tree guard, but anybody can do a tree guard. You just gotta send it over.
All right. As far as capital outlay is concerned, okay, could we have a quorum? Come and sign, please.
What is the quorum requirement?
We need 4 people to be able to vote.
Half this one.
So
Half this one.
Okay, so we'll just wait a minute till she signs in, and then we will proceed with the agenda. Okay. That's last month's. Take it because we have to look at the minutes, and this is the agenda for tonight. Okay, so we'll go back to approving the minutes from last month's meeting. We can take a quick look. accept the minutes as presented?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, good. And do we have a second?
Second.
Alright. Okay, we'll move on then. We were just starting to discuss the budget, capital and expense. We were on expense, and we said that last year we had 4 requests, and all of them came back that the agency will support. So needless to say, with all the cuts in parks, we haven't seen any of them as yet. So what is your feeling about putting them in a second time, or do you have something else you feel we should put in? Anybody?
Well, is this the time when you should put in Harris now?
Yeah, we'll get to Harris and capital, definitely.
I don't see anything wrong with putting it in again.
Okay, okay, it's basically
And
employees.
including the PEP station, you know, the updates of the things that we're talking about.
Okay, that'll be in the capital. All right, anything else? So we'll go with the expense as we did last year.
Okay, so something for public comment.
Yes, go
Alright.
ahead.
I'm fully aware in like the optics of having zombie or undead capital expense budget requests for the month of October. It's very timely, but with these, they're wasting spots on a crucial list of failed endeavors is only hurting the community at large, taking up space, gatekeeping the rest. Once again, I'm asking for a clean refresh and restart of the request list, because if you really need to hear no, there's no funding, no, go speak to your elected, no, the department needs more time to study this, and I just told you that, why wait a few months to hear it from them? The zombies are still gonna just walk and be on the list forever. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to capital outlay. As a community board covering all agencies, we submitted 27 requests. 15 of those requests were parks. And again, it's a sad, very sad issue. The only one that I see that we got some possibility of getting was surveillance cameras for St. James, DeVoe, Aqueduct, and the Old. And the response was further study is needed. Meanwhile, everything else that we submitted last year came back insufficient funds, consult your council person. And that's usually where you get the funding for parks, through the council. Rarely comes from the mayor's budget. So again, I have 15 requests from last year. I don't know if you want me to read them off quickly, or if you took a look at the booklet that went out. Should we leave them in, or what? What's your feeling on that? Okay, we do have as number 15, repair and replace artificial turf at Harris Field. So I'm hoping, that we just put that back in again. And I want to also, last year we took out Frisch Field because we felt that it was in the process, but it seems to be a very slow process. So I want to throw that back in. I don't know what's happening.
Have you checked the capital tracker?
Yes.
Right, because they came and did like a visioning, right?
Yes, they did a
So it's
preliminary.
probably like in one of these procurements or
They
whatever,
came twice.
different.
Okay.
They
I'll
came
take-
twice this episode.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take a
probably
look.
in motion, but it's caught up in the
Yeah,
dark.
because very often I know with replacing the boiler at the Webster House, that was given to us 10 years ago. And what happens in between, it was only put in this past summer, that sometimes, they get a request from an elected, we need funds for this or funds for that, and they decide to pull something that they said they were going to do. And that's why, I feel strongly that Frisch needs to be done. They get a mob scene there every Sunday for soccer, whatever. So I'll take a look on the tracker, and then if it's not listed as coming about soon, then I would like to add it. Now, what is your feeling on keeping the 15 items that we had from last year? Do you want me to quickly go over them, or what? Okay. All right. Renovate the basketball courts at DeVoe. Now, all these answers from the city were insufficient funds. The surveillance cameras, I told you, was the only possibility. The rehab of the entire length of Marshalloo, new fitness equipment for St. James, ADA accessibility for this park, something to do with the eliminating the flooding at DeVoe, and also requests for new benches, rehab of the 2 playgrounds at DeVoe, repair of the broken ground over, I guess it's the sidewalk at the Oval, over by the whole place entrance, which is on the other side. Request for fitness stations upstairs on the Oval. Request to install jogging areas in around the large parks and around playing fields. A rehab of the bocce courts for another activity.
We're thinking about doing cornhole. We're thinking about doing our own little thing, call it the cornhole.
Beanbag toss.
Oh, okay, no pickleball, because I know they set
Well,
up.
pickleball's there.
Yeah, 1 court.
We did that ourselves.
Yes, I heard that. Okay. Okay,
We're
so
thinking
you
thinking about, because a lot of people aren't asking to do anything with those areas, we figured, look at all these areas, maybe we'll do cornhole. Just a thought, I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
Okay,
We
would
might
it
wanna
be
keep
in-house or do?
It would be like an in-house thing that we did a project.
But I'll leave this
You
in,
could leave
you
that
never
in,
know
yeah.
what they'll come up with, okay. Also, we had installed railings along the path of University Woods Park, which is at the very southern ends of our district.
But I think there's a homeless encampment there, so that would kind of deter that.
All right, we also had a request to install lighting on the new path that crosses Marshalloo Parkway. I believe it's halfway west from Bainbridge, between Bainbridge and Van Cortlandt Avenue. They have a new traffic light, and people come down from the sides of the parkway, and we asked for a request for some lighting. Okay, and the last one that we had was the replacement of the artificial turf at Harris Field.
Can I say something about the lighting in the middle? None of those crossings at all have lighting, and they just built that, so if they were going to put lighting, they chose not to build it there for a reason. I think that one should be taken out, because if you're going to put it there, you should put the lighting all along the Marshalloo crossings, not the newest one that was just built without lighting. Thank you.
Okay, what's your feeling, committee? Should we leave it, take it out, or whatever?
I'm not sure if it's better to like focus our attention on Harris Field instead of
On the
so
light.
many ones that they've said no already for multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, kind of redirect the attention on some things that
Keep them
possibly
guessing.
might
Keep
happen.
them guessing.
Okay, so should we leave it, or? put
I mean,
that-
let's see. I mean,
Yeah, you never know. I think that would be probably a DOT issue, but
Well, lighting?
lighting along the parkway, the crossing.
In the center median in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you could reach out to DOT about. I mean, I know DOT services our lights.
Hmm.
As far as like a contract, like whenever a new park is built, it's the park's contract where the lighting is in, so it might still be a
Okay,
park's contract.
They just
Alright.
poured concrete through the strip, yeah.
all right, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Joe, we didn't put in last year because we didn't have the problem with the rehab of those 4 pillars on Marshall Parkway. Will we ever see that?
You will see that. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna see it. I'll bring it up again tomorrow when I go to the shops. It's just this insurance process. Once it leaves us, it goes to lawyers, and then lawyers fight with insurance companies, and then it's back to money. So.
You'll bring it up, so I
The
shouldn't
fellows
put it
will-
into my capital outlay. Okay,
I'll take it.
okay,
That's something.
that's very nice. Okay, all right, we also had, let me see, where are we? New requests for the tree planting and stump removal. We'll put that in again. I think, something that's needed all throughout the area. And, I know as far as requests that have been completed, they did do some work at Fordham Landing Park, so that's out. Harrisfield, I thought maybe, but I don't think so. I'll have to check the internet, see if there's any money for that. And then, Clinton Pool, Clinton High School pool has been done, all right?
Has anybody
And-
swam in it yet, or is it just filled with water?
The students have.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Okay, that's
So I didn't see anybody in pictures in the pool. I just saw people taking pictures in the pool.
Yeah, the students have. My son is a little, he's
Fine.
gonna get swimming class this semester, but
Oh, okay.
Lifeguard
other
jobs,
students have.
lifeguard shortages and all. So now we're finally accessing them.
Yeah, they get. Oh, okay, yes. All right, and, St. James Rec Center, can we
that's
take
not
that
good.
out, or that'll be a while?
It's
It's
under-
in construction,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so we don't have to worry about that right now. All right, so, at this point, the expense items, first four, we'll put in again. And then, the capital outlay, unless there's something you want me to take out, I don't know, I mean, the story and the answer always is insufficient funds, and if there's something we really need, we really have to go after our council person. That's the only way it'll get done, because the Parks does not have a budget. Okay, all right, we have some questions for Joe, who's here, representing the Parks Department. Fall staffing, what are your numbers like throughout?
I don't have exact numbers, but it goes down from the summer.
Right, we know that.
Some of the step-ups came back, just baseline winter staffing is.
Okay, I have a question about, Marshall Lou, because after the kids left, I mean, they did a wonderful job this summer. The park really looked good. And after they left, I guess around the middle of August or something, things really went downhill. I mean, there was no sweeping, garbage wasn't picked up right, whatever. Then things, I know people complained, because I told them to call 311, what else was there to do? It's a little better now. How are you covering that area? Do you have a roving crew, or do you have a?
Marshall has always had somebody sent to it, right?
Mhm.
There's always somebody on Marshall with call-outs, maybe on a good day you'll have 3 or 4, on a bad day, so, for the whole stretch.
Where are they stationed?
Out of PSA they've been coming out of,
Okay.
but this sounds more like a supervision issue, to be honest with you. Just meaning I have to talk to my supervisors about why they're not on top of the staff, or making changes or requesting overtime, which I'll probably have to say no to, but at least they're asking, like, listen, this doesn't look good, I need help. So that's a conversation I need to have.
Okay, for a while there, Webster from Marshall south to north was filthy.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, everything disappeared and it looked good, so I don't know
Well,
what
because
happened.
I had
Someone.
I had a woman call me, she was calling me pretty, she was letting me know, like, nothing's happening, and then I just lost it on my
Okay.
supervisor. You told me like 5 times, and you did it, and you didn't do it, so it sounds like I have to have another conversation.
Yes, that sounds good,
Yeah.
okay. Any other questions about staffing in any of our parks?
What happens with the maintenance here in the Oval Park, picking up things? Where it seems sort of spotty. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. Some days the trash cans are overflowing. Sometimes they're picked up, but that's something that I've noticed very often. That I guess it's a staffing matter, or either that or a diligence matter for the people who are assigned to do it.
Do you have a signed staff?
Yeah, we have assigned staff, but it is like the Marshall thing. I think my concern is how long it was bad, not that it was bad, right? Because it's a lot to do. It's a couple
Right.
miles long, but we don't have a lot of staff. Barbara can tell you we're less than 1% of the budget. It's going to get smaller. We don't have a ton of people. I have the whole District 7. I always tell people is very unique because it has such big properties that require a lot of attention. Like a lot of districts have like little parks flying around so you could have a crew hit. We have properties that are huge, So if I have 2 people here, there's only so much I can get done, but I'll have a conversation with them, see what's up. see if they haven't been
Good.
assigning as many people as they used to. Maybe we gotta look at where we could pull from to bring.
Another related question. You know the area here in the Oval Park, down below the west terrace, between the terrace and the tennis courts?
Okay.
It's just constantly left littered.
Letter.
I mean, when I say constantly, for years, maybe here and there it has been picked up, but I go through maybe 6 days a week, and I look down there, you know, and it's like, one time I saw two women start right there near the playground, you know, the south end, and then I went on around the park like I usually do, and next day I looked down there to see whether they had gone through and picked up more up near the terrace. No, I mean, they must have quit or gone somewhere else or something, you know. So that's something. And by the way, I've written letters to the Parks Department about the shrubbery down below. It's like they just sort of leave it go wild and stuff. People airmail garbage down there the whole way along from the playground area clear up to near the other playground, and I mean it's like, and this has gone on. I've written letters about this. Maybe whenever they had the controversy about the skate park having to be redone, where they put down some concrete and then they had to rip it back up. Well, around that time I wrote a letter, and that must be 5 years ago or something like that. So I wrote then about that shrubbery, and no one, not only didn't they do anything about it, they didn't respond to my question about it. So it's just something that, what can I say? I'm concerned. I live here, and I go through the park often, and it just seems to stay the same.
Thank you for coming out, that's good. Garbage pickup, I have a complaint. There's always spillage and nobody bothers to sweep it up, the garbage.
So they'll throw the can out and leave what's up next to the can? So like what you're saying, all right, there's spillage.
There's spillage when they empty
dump
the
it
can
and then they don't clean it up.
they don't clean
That's a
up
conversation I
it.
had to have.
Could you
Very
please?
sorry, yeah.
All right, thank you, I would appreciate that.
A related thing, the area here in the Oval Park where you're supposed to leave garbage there, right near the Hope Place entrance.
Right.
It's like when they pick up the garbage, sometimes it gets pretty full, and they pick it up and they just leave it a total mess. It would seem to me like 5 minutes with a rake and a broom, and they could have it so that when people walk by there, and I'm sure hundreds of people walk by there, it would look half decent.
So
It just looks a mess.
My plan for up there is to do like a little paved surface at the top and put containers so that no one has to see garbage. So like actual containers that my truck can pull and dump it.
And the rats can't get into it.
That's my idea. That's my plan. So that's what we're looking to do.
All right, next item, condition of the parks. Anybody want to bring up any things?
So I think it was last weekend or the weekend before where it was the heavy rain. There was like a fallen tree by Marshall and Briggs Avenue, and it was like cut up, but it was still like laying down.
Was it half clear?
No, it was on the walking path.
But it was
It was
cut
like
up,
chopped,
but just left there?
but still across the path.
Okay.
So I haven't gone back that way. So I wanted to know, like, do you know
Whose
if
responsibility?
you picked it up?
Well, depending on how big it is, it was a big tree.
Yeah, I have pictures. I have pictures.
If it was a big tree, I'm gonna have to get a truck to come and with a cord.
Go ahead.
By Marsha, over there by that area, walking to the train station,
By
to
the
that
road?
park area, by Marsha, that park area with the benches and the circle and
Yes,
stuff
right
like
near
that.
For the
the
train
community garden?
Yeah.
Okay. This
The
is,
pavement, I tripped. Like, but I tripped. It's rocky. It would look nice, and for the commuters or whatnot, like, save them when it gets cold, the ice and the rocky stuff.
I know we always get complaints about
So
the lack of cleaning.
I'll have them give it
The pavement isn't level, is that what you're saying?
Hold on a second.
And that's by that garden, which is outside of the community garden. There's a little sitting area there, correct?
Yeah.
He's talking about right on Jerome and
Jerome, yeah.
Jerome and Marshall.
Marshall, right,
The walking
east
path
side of
that cuts through
Jerome,
the park.
correct?
It's just a little, it's like a
Yes.
little cutout,
Cut.
with the benches and stuff like that. I'll have somebody go there, check out for trip hazards, and we'll patch it.
Alright.
As far as it just being completely repaved, that's something.
That's what you have to allow that, yeah.
But I could do some paving.
That would be good if you could do something for us.
Patch.
Okay, good. All right, and, all right, did you check? Can he handle the tree that's down?
Yeah, we'll make something.
All right, but you know, sometimes they're big and you have to call forestry, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand that. Okay, good. All right, I mentioned to Joe before, at our general meeting, after the meeting, I got a request from someone who uses Harris Field, complained that the bathrooms are closed at 4, he goes to the park afterwards, and he wanted some type of a portable toilet put in there, but Joe tells me they're not gonna do that, so
That's
if
it.
I run into him
Meeting
next
to
month. Okay,
Tell them next time that the bathrooms are closed at 4. Well, on Labor Day, so 4:30.
yeah, it's close enough, yeah.
You know, so it's just,
All right, what can you do, right?
if it was a park that like we locked at night, maybe.
But you don't lock that park at night,
You can't.
no,
Why?
it's true,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll be vandalized, people will use it to use drugs, so it's not good.
All right, we'll move the agenda on. In December, as you know, this committee sponsors the annual tree lighting. And I need a date and a couple of suggestions tonight. We usually do it on a Thursday night. So at this point, maybe December 7th or 14th, what's your pleasure? You think a little early, the 7th?
I mean, the 7th means just that it'll be up and
Yeah,
and we
right.
get to be in the holiday a little bit longer,
Yeah,
which is
true.
not a bad thing to have it up.
Right, considering the expense involved too.
Right.
All right, so
Exactly. An extra week is not a bad.
bad idea, all right, what do you,
December 7th, we're on.
7th, is that okay?
Yeah,
All
that,
right,
that works well.
okay?
Isn't that also when they
That's the
roughly
tree,
like the Christmas
yeah,
tree
and Marshall
around
Yes.
the center as well, right around the north side too?
I don't know when they light that
They
one.
do it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually on a Wednesday, I think. Okay, so we'll make it the 7th. And any suggestions for those of you who were there last year for this year? That you would like to see or hear, entertainment-wise?
I would say,
Anybody?
sorry, the kids from the school, I went to 80, so they would be invited every year to come out and sing. We do the ornaments for the trees. There's even more schools now, so like just have the kids come out. And then you have a crowd. So yeah, keep it family oriented.
Okay.
I think the lights folks did a way better job this year.
Yeah, the lights are so much
Yeah.
better.
2 years ago, they had those strings, and, you know, we paid a lot of money for them, but awful. So, yes, I will remind Carla when she hires the group to remind them about how we want the tree to look.
And will you also be in this last year? It was in a different location, like in the middle of Bainbridge. Is it going to still be that location, or is
Yeah.
the light things moved?
We'll be in the middle of Bainbridge,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I just like that location a lot.
Yeah, we have to
It
cut
kind of
the
felt safe
overgrowth
too,
there.
where you had the two roads, the cops blocking it off.
Okay, so we're looking at the 7th of December for the tree lighting. It's a
You guys
Thursday
always do it
night.
for my birthday.
Is that,
I think, yeah, you did it on my birthday one year, yeah.
oh, all right, is that your birthday?
No,
No?
the 8th.
Oh, all right, well, we can say that. Okay.
He has plans, he has plans.
All right, entertainment-wise, I believe we had someone from University Heights. I thought it went okay, the disc jockey. So we'll keep it as such.
Is Lehman Center Performing Arts in the district? Or is that, because I know it's like right on the edge. But the Lehman, they charge for the performances, why don't they come out to give us something for free? Or Botanical Gardens, they do a lot of programming. They don't sponsor the tree or anything? It's just the board.
No. What we do, we send invites and ask for contributions from the electives.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we, you know, get enough, then that's how we buy the candy and a lot of the things that we give out to the kids. So we certainly will, you know, do that again. Anybody special that anybody would like us to invite? in addition to all our electeds.
Well, Ice Spice is from the district, but she charges a little too much. But yeah,
Ice Spice.
she's from Florida. Yeah, they have a giant
She's
mural
from
over
Florida,
at the
she's
donation.
from
The
Florida.
police might not be down with that.
Yeah,
Sort too much of a
Cardi
crowd.
B's from the district.
That's
but a
right,
little
he's
bit down
from
on
the
her, too.
area.
They will not be happy.
Like
No,
one of the
I
guys
don't
from
think so.
Kiss,
Can you
one of the guys from
imagine how
Kiss
many
grew up
we
with
get?
Perry.
She actually wanted to film a scene of a documentary at St. James,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like sort of
Well, I
okay
think she
with
did
it.
a music video at St. James.
I was sort of okay with it, but I told them we had to talk to NYPD, and I think NYPD shut it down.
Shut it down.
Yeah, 'cause it's just too much.
Yeah, I can understand.
But arts and culture is alive in the neighborhood.
Okay, any other suggestions for the tree lighting? As far as, you know, what you would like to see? We usually invite school groups to sing. We didn't have PS20 last year, they usually come out full force. For some reason, the date wasn't something they could handle or whatever, but we had a few other groups. We had some of the little dances from the rec center here. And I'm trying to remember who else we have. Do you recall?
I actually recall one class from 20 being there because my neighbor's kids were at the
Yeah,
church.
they were
There was a
good.
little, it wasn't as
There's
big
a
as
teacher
Youth
from
20
there
used to
brought a
be.
big crew
Yeah.
over, yeah.
Just curious,
Right.
Barbara, what's the budget for the lighting?
Well, I think it's about $4,000 to $5,000. The tree alone, to have it lit, costs us $4,000. And then we ask for donations, but we, you know, I guess we'll spend a little more if we have to.
And historically, what do the elected officials contribute?
Some will send money, some don't, whatever. You know, you invite because they have a few tree lightings in other places. And so we hope for the best on that, but we usually do okay. And I'm sure Friends of Marshall Park, and now it's the Future of Marshall Park, will set up her booth and whatever that she usually does. Then we usually get some
Now,
hot chocolate.
Now, can I ask a question? Will that be considered part of your event, or is that something separate she does?
Well, she comes to the event and we usually give her permission to set up what she does over there.
Alright, so it's just
So,
covered under your
but
permit.
it's our event. Okay?
She's invited.
Alright, so we usually.
No, just if it's gotta be a separate permit, like if that's just
Yeah.
her own
No,
thing
no,
that she's
no,
doing, then she's
no,
gotta submit a
no,
permit.
I
I
think
believe
she's
she
part
gave
of
out
us.
apple cider and like little snacks last year.
Yeah,
so it was
right.
Okay.
complimentary
Alright,
to
so we usually have the hot chocolate and candies, and we always have the police, not only the police department, but also Santa Claus. It usually is one of the cops that dresses up and
Hey,
comes.
hey, no, it's Santa.
Oh, it's a
What are you
nice
talking
day.
about? It came from the North Pole.
Alright, any other suggestions you would want me to include? Alright. No, that takes care of that. Do we have anybody from our rec centers and parks? No, it's a quiet night. Reports from the Friends groups? No Friends groups tonight either. Okay.
But I believe Oval's having a haunted house soon. I don't have the flyer, but I believe I saw something that the haunted house for Halloween. It's before Halloween this year.
Oh, okay. All right, I do want to announce that Aqueduct Walk will be going before the Landmarks Commission sometime this fall. It may become a landmark, which would be great. And I'll keep you posted if I hear when. Does anyone feel we should send a letter requesting that we support the landmarking of the aqueduct?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm doing my grad school application for exam studies. I believe the neighborhood, especially old structures like that, should be highlighted for their significant value. Because we used to water, even the reservoir here provided water to the city and grow to what it is today. And we often get forgotten about, and that's been there for how long, and only now you want to landmark such a historic structure. And it's also at risk of not only being demolished, but that's prime development land if it's not protected.
All right, what's your feeling about a motion? We could send a letter of support.
I make a motion that we send a letter of support.
All right. Do we have a second for the motion?
Second?
Okay. All right, so, I will make sure that it goes before the full board at our general meeting, and, hopefully we'll see it done. It'll be nice if we could get that, and hopefully with the landmarking status, it'll be kept clean and neat and attractive.
And something for the kids to learn about, and not be something like bad or like, yeah, dirty.
So, something positive, I think, for the district, that would be good. All right, and our next meeting is slated for November 8th. We'll be here hopefully, I guess they will give us a permanent spot here.
That's
So I
you,
don't
Sally.
apologize that phone, there's nobody here from the old
It's been
night
you
that I
and
can
Sally.
thank, but hopefully it'll be here again. All right, and any items you want included? Will we be able to get the Bronx tree person out maybe? What do you think?
I could try.
What's his name, Tyler?
I think the best way is to write out a bunch of questions and he'll answer them. Like
I
very,
know, but
very,
the
very.
last guy did that too on, online, and then there was not much follow-up. How come we don't get a list anymore? We always had a list of where in the board they were gonna plant either fall or spring. I have nothing now, it's a big secret. That's my first
Is that
question.
the guy who
for
said it was
Tyler.
like $6,000 to plant a tree? Yeah, that was crazy. That's a lot of money.
Alright, so, okay, so, if you come across Tyler, invite him to our next meeting, and I'll have Carla send him a more formal invitation. So if we have any questions about trees being something that has to be removed, a tree or a stump or whatever, and a list for our board, why, when and why are they not planting much, because last year we got almost nothing. And I'm just wondering what's
Do they have to
happening.
remove the stumps, or can we I see people use them as tables and people that hang out on them, or is that like a bad thing that they have to be removed?
Well, if you're gonna plant a new tree, it has to be removed.
Because right at Marshallou on the ramp, that's the greenway, there was a tree there, but it's just like a stump. It's so many people that you see the kids hanging out, you see they use it as a table. But it's like a cute stump. The other ones are kind of like unsightly, but yeah, I figured to not keep that one. But yeah, I don't know if you had to remove them and stuff like that.
Okay. Alright, so, I assume the tree planting is done by an outside company? Is that
Yeah, well, it's contracted out.
contracted?
Contracted.
Okay,
By
but
us.
the
It
removal.
goes through citywide forestry, so it's not Bronx forestry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything's
That makes sense.
compartmentalized.
Oh, okay, so Tyler is working for the citywide or?
Tyler is the director of forestry in the Bronx.
Bronx.
And then there's citywide forestry who handles contracts for city trees, street clearing and all that stuff.
Okay, so we'll invite Tyler for next month.
Are some trees here in the park cut down because they're not native, as opposed to they're being dangerous or something?
No, the way we run on a national standard, so the way it's called risk management, so a professional forester will come out, inspect the tree, and say, this is a 1 through a 5. And if it's a 1, it gets immediately taken care of. If it's a 5, who knows? But a lot of times, we'll look at a tree, like I'll look at a tree and I'll be like, oh, that tree's great. But a professional who went to school for 5 years will look at the tree and say, this tree's about to die.
There goes our shit.
I see, yeah.
And it gets slated for removal, but we'll never cut down a healthy tree just to cut down a healthy tree. If a tree's getting cut down, it's probably very, very, very easy.
Thank you. Any other concerns that you'd like to bring up before we close the meeting?
Happy Halloween.
Thank you for coming out. Do we have a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Okay.
I wanted to know, how do you become a member of the community board?
Oh, okay. Before you go, please sign in. In January, you will see online, okay? Requests, I would say once the holidays are over, January,
The Bronx Borough President's office
August.
puts out the application, it's online now.
yeah,
Okay.
you don't do it, a hard copy. Good night,
Well,
Joe,
I see
thank
you guys
you.
have a great
And when you get it, fill it out online and send it in. You'll have a spot there to put what activities you're interested in or what you've done and whatever.
And there are vacancies on 7, so it's fine. You can still get into this.
What is the next meeting?